Hi, everybody. So I was out today gardening and mowing a lawn and doing some other things outside. And our lawn, if any of you have actually are actually in the area and drive by, was pretty darn tall. Because I kept holding off because I wanted to pick some of the wild plants. Other people call them weeds, I call them wild plants, so that I could make some enzymes from them. And so we let it grow a little long before we actually would go ahead and mow it. So unfortunately, my husband, my wonderful husband, is suffering with vertigo. And so the movement and things like that is just not something he can do right now. So I was elected to go out and mow the lawn. So you are seeing me now in all my natural state. No makeup, just got out the shower, cleaned everything up. And I wanted to show you because people were mentioning how it's helpful to see some of the ways that you can use the oils. So obviously, since I was mowing the lawn and I was working in the garden, there's a lot of pollen, and there was a lot of grass clippings getting blown around, and I was breathing that in. And although I felt fine, what I do know is that in the past I would then find myself hurting from the all of the stuff I was breathing in. My sinuses would get angry at me, and I would normally wake up feeling like not so good. So what I did was I took my shower, cleaned everything up, did my tick check, because that's always very important, despite the fact that I spray on myself a combination of 3 oils. I use peppermint purification, and there's one more, peppermint purification, and eucalyptus oil in a spray bottle. And I actually use that to spray on myself to protect myself from ticks. That's what I use. I still check myself. Very important, especially for those of you who live in the Hudson Valley region of New York. There's a lot of ticks. So I did my tick check. Everything's been washed. And now I'm going to show you how I apply oils to avoid any type of irritation in my sinuses. So for those of you that neti pot, that is a great option to do almost immediately after you are outdoors in an area that you're breathing something in that would irritate your sinuses. For me, like when I'm cleaning my chicken coop, when I come back in, I always flush my nose out, my sinuses out with a neti pot. So that's something that I highly recommend. And it is a little strange for people who haven't done it before. Of course, it feels funny to stick something up your nose and have fluid run through and then pour out the other side, the other nostril. But it's a great way to clean out your sinuses. So I've done that already. So now I'm going to show you what I use to make sure that I don't get the sinus pressure and irritation. So here we go. First one up, lavender. So I take a drop of lavender. Oh, there was 2 drops there, but that's okay. And I go ahead, I do my 3 circles. I've already mentioned that I do that. And I actually dab it along my sinus points. And then I do it on the sinus points on the back of my neck. So you have sinus points on each side of your neck. So that's what I do first, the lavender. The next thing that I use is lemon. So lemon, I actually don't put on my face. You can. The only thing is because it's a citrus oil, it's photosensitive. So if you were going to put it on your face or anywhere on exposed skin, you don't want to do it and then go out into the sun. Bad idea, okay? So what I do, however, is I take lemon, and I will do this during the day because it's not in a sun-exposed area if I'm wearing my hair down. So I take a drop of lemon, and I actually apply it to the same spots at the back of my neck. Okay, so it's right underneath the skull on each side of the brain stem. You have sinus points there. Those are sinus reflex points or acupressure points. And then I take peppermint. Peppermint, let me show the label. Peppermint, there we go. And I take a drop of peppermint. Now remember, if this is the first time you're seeing me work with peppermint, Never, ever, ever put peppermint near or in your eyes. It's very, very strong. So I do my 3 circles, and I first go to the back of my neck, because now you'll see there's hardly any on my hand. So I take what's left there and I lightly dab along the lower side of my cheek. But you see, I'm not putting a full drop, because if I put a full drop around my eyes, it would be so strong that my eyes would be watering and I'd be like, so what do we do actually if it's too much heat next to our eyes, or if we accidentally, like I've done this many times now that I have peppermint on my finger, I might accidentally go and rub my eye later. Ooh. What you don't do is you don't go and get water and splash it in your eye. Bad idea. You actually would just go and take a carrier oil. So most people use organic coconut oil. Here, I'll show you real quick. So this is a tub of organic coconut oil that I picked up from Sam's Club. And this I use for people who have a preference for coconut oil. I, however, love to use Young Living's V6 oil. It's a little rubbed off, as you can see. It's lasted me for a long time. This bottle lasts a very long time, and long enough for me to actually start wearing off the label. But it's the letter V-6, and it's basically a combination of 6 different carrier oils. So if I was to get peppermint in my eye and it was too strong, I would just go ahead and take a little pinch of the V6 oil, just a drop or 2. You don't need a lot. I would go ahead and rub it around the orb of my eye. Not in the eye, just around the orb of the eye. And what happens is it then cuts the heat. So it attaches to the essential oil molecules and makes them a little bit larger so that the absorption into your system is a little slower. So that's actually how it takes away the heat if you're ever using a hot oil that is causing you some irritation. So the other thing that I wanted to show you, because I've had people ask me about this as well. Now, I no longer have oils on my hand. I do have a little bit of V6 on them. They absorb very, very quickly. However, remember, I do have the peppermint still on that finger. Yep, still there. Actually, very good. Breath freshener. So every night and every morning, I put frankincense on my face. And some people are like always, oh, well, how do you do it? It's really, really simple. I take a lot of V6 apparently. I actually didn't need that much, so I'm just gonna massage it up in my hands. And then I go ahead and I take my frankincense oil. I love frankincense oil. And I take a drop of it. Okay, so you guys wanna know the real truth, since I'm being completely honest. I actually take like 2 or 3 drops, because I'm a little bit overboard with things. And then I rub my hands together, and then I just rub it all over my face. And I make sure that I rub it on my thyroid also, because my thyroid needs support. For me, my thyroid needs support. So I actually rub frankincense right on over my thyroid. And that is my nightly regimen for my skin. So here's a little note that I'm going to end off on. About 3 months ago, in May, 5 months ago, 4 or 5 months ago, I went to the eye doctor and I said, I think my prescription is too strong. Now, meanwhile, I've had these glasses for 2 years. And if you're like most people, every year our eyes kind of get progressively worse. And I've been wearing glasses basically my whole life. So I went to the eye doctor and I said to the eye doctor, I think that my prescription is too strong. I think my eyesight may be improving. And he almost chuckled at me. And he says, well, we'll see. So he started doing the examination. He says to me, Jessica, your right eye, actually, the astigmatism is almost gone. And then when he went on to do my left eye, and by the way, my left eye was damaged in a stroke that I suffered about 12 years ago. And when he went and did my left eye, he said to me, your left eye has improved by definitely 1 point. Almost 2, but definitely 1 point. And I was like, wow, that's great. Now, for those of you that know about Nature Red, the drink, that beautiful little drink that you drink an ounce a day, it's actually known to help support healthy eyes, help to support your vision. And I drink Nature Red every day. But then it dawned on me, when I put frankincense on, I put it over my whole face. And I actually wonder now, or I do believe that that may be a contributing factor in why my eyesight has improved. So I've now had these glasses for about 4 or 5 months. And I will tell you right now that I actually think that I need another pair because I think these are now too strong. Go figure. So that's your tip for today. I hope you all find it really helpful and I hope you're having a great day. Take care.